If you come across this video and you don't watch to the end and subscribe, you'll never know what your taxes are being used for in the country. Don't forget to like and comment because your taxes are being used here. Today we are back again on the streets of Accra, standing before one of the biggest and most talked about national projects in recent years, the Accra Marine Drive project. About a month ago, we were here filming this same stretch of land, showing viewers the visible signs of work, the hope that something huge was finally taking shape along Ghana's coastline. We left then believing that on our return, we would find new progress, new energy, and maybe the first outlines of a dream slowly turning into reality. But today, as we stand here again, the picture before us tells a different story. The vast coastal land between Independence Square and the Osu Castle lies quiet. The air feels still, and the usual buzzing of engines and voices of workers that once filled this place has completely disappeared. The few machines that once moved across the sand, grading, clearing, and reshaping the land, are now parked, silent and motionless, some coated in a thin film of dust as if they have not been started in weeks. Not a single worker is on the ground, and yet today is a full working day in the city. Accra moves with its usual weekday rhythm, cars rushing, offices open, businesses alive. But here, at one of Ghana's most ambitious development sites, time feels frozen. The entire atmosphere around the Marine Drive site has changed. The fences still stand, marking the boundaries of what is meant to become a world-class tourism enclave, but behind those barriers, nothing stirs. You can almost hear the waves crash more clearly now, because there is no noise of construction to drown them out. It's almost strange to think that this is the same project that once promised to transform the entire coastline into a vibrant modern district filled with hotels, cultural centers, shopping malls, and open public parks. For a project that was launched with so much pride and publicity, this silence raises questions. What happened here? Where did the movement go? Is this just a pause, or has the momentum died completely? As the camera pans slowly across the site, the visuals tell a story of contrast. The land remains cleared, yes, but it looks deserted, like a stadium after the crowd has gone home. The once fresh tire marks of trucks have faded, and the ground has hardened under the sun. A few wooden structures that served as site offices still stand, their paint beginning to fade from exposure to the coastal breeze. The signboards with slogans of progress and development are still in place, but the activity they once promised has gone missing. You can see where piles of sand were once stored, now flattened by wind and time. A few cables stick out of the ground, remnants of early foundation work. The entire space looks like a project that paused midway and never resumed. This was supposed to be one of the most iconic developments in Ghana's modern era. Stretching over 241 acres, the Accra Marine Drive project was envisioned to completely redefine the look and feel of the capital's beachfront. From Independence Square all the way down to the Labadi stretch, the goal was to build a vibrant modern waterfront, filled with luxury hotels, conference centers, entertainment facilities, cultural hubs, and public green spaces. The dream was to create a seafront that would not only attract international visitors, but also give Ghanaians a new reason to enjoy their own city. It was a bold idea, one that carried the potential to boost tourism, create jobs, and transform Accra into a world-class coastal destination. But standing here today, you wouldn't think such a massive vision ever existed. The silence here doesn't reflect the ambition that was once spoken of with so much confidence. When we were last here, there was at least some sign of life. Surveyors marking coordinates, trucks moving soil, a few workers in reflective vests managing the ground. Now there is nothing. It feels like a scene paused in time, with all the energy drained away. The machines, once symbols of progress, have become statues of uncertainty. They sit quietly under the sun, engines off, some with rust already forming around their joints. There's something heavy about the stillness, a kind of sadness that comes when potential meets delay. You look across this land and imagine what it could have been by now. Foundations rising, roads connecting, the first walls of new buildings taking shape. Instead, it is still open ground, flat, wide, and waiting. The question that echoes through your mind is simple. Why? Why is there no work on a weekday? Why has activity stopped when the plan was to push forward in phases? has funding become an issue? Is it a matter of management, or is the project simply in another slow administrative phase that the public isn't aware of? Whatever the reason, one thing is clear: the site doesn't look active. The ambition of transforming Accra's coast into a world-class tourism hub seems to be on pause. And when projects like this pause, they risk fading from the public's attention. Ghana has seen this pattern before. Projects launched with fanfare and promise, only to fade quietly into the background when the spotlight moves away. Yet, even as you stand here, disappointment mixes with a strange sense of patience. Because this project, despite its silence, still holds the power to change the city. The land is still here, the potential still visible, the ocean still rolls in, the breeze still smells of salt and possibility, and the vision, though delayed, isn't dead. You can still imagine the walkways, the hotels, the palm trees lining the boulevard, and the laughter of tourists and locals blending into one sound. The dream isn't gone, it's simply waiting for attention, for leadership, for momentum. But the question is, how long will it wait? The contrast between the energy of the city and the quietness of this site is striking. Just across the road, Accra moves at full speed. Vendors selling, taxis honking, students rushing home, businesses open. But here, within the fenced boundaries of the Marine Drive, everything is still. It's almost symbolic, as if the city has two realities, one that's moving forward and another that's standing still. The Marine Drive project was meant to connect Ghana's cultural heart to its economic pulse, to bring energy to the ocean front, to redefine how people experience the capital. And that's what makes today's silence even louder. It's not just the absence of sound, it's the absence of motion. For a project of this scale, visibility matters. People want to see what their taxes and national resources are building. They want to feel the progress. They want to look at a construction site and say, yes, this is where our future is being shaped. That's why returning here today feels important. Not to criticize, but to observe honestly and ask the questions that every citizen deserves to ask. When you see millions invested in a vision like this, and then you see an empty field where progress should be happening, it's natural to wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Standing here, you can almost trace where the future buildings were supposed to rise. You can picture the main boulevard that was planned to run parallel to the beach. You can visualize the public promenade where families would walk on weekends, and the open-air amphitheater designed to host cultural shows with the ocean as the backdrop. All these images come alive in your imagination, but then your eyes fall back to the reality in front of you. The empty land, the parked machines, and the quiet wind. It's like looking at a blueprint that has come to life only halfway. Projects like this are more than just construction. They are national statements. They tell the world who we are, what we value, and how far we've come. The Marine Drive was meant to tell the story of Ghana's growth, of our ability to create world-class spaces that reflect both tradition and innovation. Seeing it at a standstill doesn't just affect development, it affects morale, but it's also a reminder of accountability. These are public projects, built with public resources, and the public has the right to know what's happening. Transparency builds trust, and trust keeps the dream alive. As the drone captures a wider view, the contrast becomes clearer. Miles of prime coastal land lying still, bordered by the restless sea. You can almost feel the tension between what is and what could be. The waves continue to move, as if urging the land to wake up and continue its transformation. The sky over Accra glows softly with afternoon light, casting long shadows over the empty plots. It's beautiful in its own way, but it's also haunting. This is the kind of silence that tells a story of ambition paused, of progress waiting for revival. And so we document, because this is what Flash GH does, show you not only the beauty of Ghana, but also the reality of how development happens, where it slows, and where it needs attention. Today's visit isn't about disappointment, it's about awareness. It's about showing that development is not just about groundbreaking ceremonies, it's about consistent effort, follow-through, and accountability. When you see a project like this sitting idle on a weekday, it's fair to ask, what's next? When will the engine start again? When will the workers return? When will Ghana's most ambitious coastal dream wake up from this quiet pause? As the lens moves slowly across the empty stretch, you begin to realize how large this land really is. From the boundary near Independence Square all the way toward the Osu Castle, the coastline extends like an untouched canvas. In another context, this kind of open space in the middle of a busy capital would be rare and valuable. It's the sort of land that could change the entire face of a city if used well. But standing here today, that value feels suspended in midair. The sun beats down on the parked graders and excavators, their metallic bodies reflecting the light as if trying to remind anyone passing by that they are still here, still waiting for the signal to move again. Some of them have their buckets half buried in sand, frozen in the exact position they were left weeks ago. The ground around them is dry and cracked, footprints have faded and weeds have started growing in the corners of the fenced area. It's a strange sight, a multi-million CD project site beginning to look like an abandoned car park. Yet there's a kind of calm beauty to it. The ocean breeze still blows gently through the site, and the faint smell of salt water mixes with dust. The waves crash against the shore with their steady rhythm, indifferent to whether machines move or not. Nature continues her work. From this vantage point, the silence tells a story louder than any sound. The absence of workers on a weekday is not just a coincidence, it's a statement. It raises questions about coordination, financing, management, and the will to continue. When a project of this magnitude stops visibly, it often means one of two things. Either it has reached a hidden administrative phase, or it has entered a stall that no one wants to publicly admit. Whichever the case, the people deserve answers. Because the Marine Drive project isn't just a private investment, it's a national promise. It was presented as a legacy project, one that would stand as evidence of progress for generations. To see it quiet like this leaves a void, especially when the country is in need of hope that its development plans are moving forward. The camera pans slowly toward the Atlantic. The horizon is bright and wide, and the reflection of sunlight on the water gives a cinematic contrast to the still land beside it. You can't help but think how this scene could have looked with cranes rising, scaffolds standing, and workers walking purposefully along the site. The vision of a future seafront lined with palm trees, modern glass buildings, and vibrant nightlights feels distant, but not impossible. You can picture couples walking hand in hand on paved promenades, children running near the fountains, tourists snapping photos of a new Ghanaian skyline that faces the ocean. The imagination still holds on to the dream even when the ground looks asleep. And maybe that's what hope looks like here, holding the vision even when the evidence has paused. When the Marine Drive was announced, the expectations were sky high. It wasn't just about creating a leisure spot, it was about redefining Accra's identity. For decades, the capital has turned its back to the sea. Most coastal cities in the world celebrate their shorelines, restaurants, music, art, and culture blending into one living corridor by the water. Accra's coast, however, remained largely informal and underdeveloped. The Marine Drive was meant to fix that, to make the sea part of the city's daily life again. The architectural rendering showed a stunning mix of modern design and Ghanaian symbolism. Curved roofs inspired by waves, open markets designed with kente-like patterns, and public spaces built to host art festivals and national celebrations. The promise was beautiful. That's why it hurts to stand here and see stillness, because a project that was meant to move the city forward is now standing in one place, almost like it's thinking about whether to continue or not. As you walk closer to the boundary fence, you notice signs that the site hasn't been completely abandoned. Some fresh markings appear on the ground, small white lines and orange flags that might have been placed recently by surveyors. That means someone has been here, perhaps checking coordinates or updating land measurements. A few containers that served as temporary offices are still locked but appear to be maintained. Maybe supervisors still visit occasionally. These little details show that even in the quiet, there's some level of monitoring happening. But visible construction? None. Movement? Zero. The silence remains the dominant sound. What stands out most is how this stillness contrasts with the buzz of life around it. Just a few meters away, traffic flows along the main road. People go about their business. Trotros pick up passengers, vendors sell coconuts by the roadside, and the city hums with the usual weekday energy. It feels strange that inside the fence, everything is asleep while outside, everything is awake. It's almost symbolic of how development in Ghana sometimes works. Great ideas fenced off, waiting, while the rest of the country continues as if nothing is wrong. But the truth is, people notice. Citizens see when projects stall. They talk about it in conversations, in trotro debates, on social media, and in their hearts, they wonder whether promises made will ever be completed. If there's one thing that becomes clear while standing here, it's that this project represents more than concrete and steel. It represents trust. It represents how much faith people can have in long-term national plans. Because when a country decides to start something of this magnitude, it sends a message that says we're ready to grow. But when that same project goes quiet, the silence sends another message that somewhere along the line, the system is struggling to keep the dream alive. And that's why documenting this moment matters. It's not about criticism, it's about keeping the vision in public memory, so that when things start moving again, we can look back and say, yes, we saw the quiet days too. The coastline still holds its charm. You can hear the seagulls above, the distant sound of waves breaking, and the wind brushing through the few scattered palm trees left standing near the shore. The air feels heavy with both salt and possibility. You can almost sense that this land wants to be more than it is right now. It has potential written all over it. The wide expanse could host music festivals, global conferences, art exhibitions, and night markets. It could be the heartbeat of Accra's tourism, but potential means nothing without motion. The machines must start again, the workers must return, and leadership must push the dream forward. Because the longer a project like this sleeps, the harder it becomes to wake it up. Still, not everything here is negative. The site's quietness allows you to appreciate how strategically placed it really is. On one side, you have the historic Osu Castle, a symbol of Ghana's past. On the other, you have Independence Square, representing freedom and national pride. And right between them lies this massive stretch of land that could represent Ghana's future. Past, present, and potential, all lined up side by side. It's poetic when you think about it. Maybe this pause is part of the story. Maybe it's just the calm before another phase begins. But whatever the reason, it needs to be told honestly, because transparency is the only way development keeps its soul. So as we stand here again, camera rolling, the message is simple. Ghana is building, yes, but Ghana must also continue. Dreams can't just be launched, they must be maintained, funded, and completed. The Marine Drive project is not just about buildings. It's about national image, job creation, and pride. Every time it slows down, we all lose a little bit of that momentum. But every time it rises again, we all gain. The land is waiting, the ocean is waiting, and the people are waiting. And somewhere beneath this quiet surface, you can still feel that faint heartbeat of progress, slow but alive. Maybe next time we return, the machines will roar again, the workers will fill the site, and the promise will finally meet the action. Until then, this quiet coastline remains a mirror reflecting not just the sea, but the state of our collective effort to build the Ghana we dream of. Walking along the stretch again, you begin to notice how time itself started to leave traces here. The ground looks smoother in some places. Across the horizon, and from a distance, the Atlantic glimmers beautifully, almost teasing the land that is supposed to become Ghana's pride. You can see people walking past, some pausing briefly to look in, wondering what's going on, others too busy to care. For them, it's just another day in Accra. But for those who remember the bold promises attached to this project, the stillness feels heavier. It's hard not to think about how this place could have been buzzing with life by now. According to the original vision, by this stage there were supposed to be visible signs of transformation. Sections cleared for luxury hotels, pedestrian-friendly roads taking shape, and foundations for a creative arts hub already rising. There was even talk of a beach promenade where musicians could perform live, artists could display their works, and families could gather to watch the sunset over the Gulf of Guinea, a space that blends tourism, culture, and relaxation. a showcase of Ghana's potential to the world. Standing here now, with the camera slowly panning across the quiet expanse, that vision feels paused mid-sentence. You can almost see it like a movie frozen in one frame, waiting for someone to hit play again. The Marine Drive project was designed to stretch over 200 acres, connecting historical and cultural landmarks along the coastline. The plan included an ultra-modern aquarium, a national amphitheater, a conference center, shopping complexes, parks, and a business district. It was a master plan that aimed to transform Accra's beachfront into a vibrant coastal destination. The idea wasn't only to attract tourists, but also to provide jobs and opportunities for young Ghanaians in construction, hospitality, arts, and entertainment. It was meant to become a hub of energy and creativity, an address that symbolized Ghana's confidence in its own future. And that's why seeing the machines parked and the site empty on a working day stirs emotions that are hard to describe. Because you can tell, the potential is enormous, but it's waiting for consistency, direction, and renewed energy. From this aerial perspective, you can see the location's importance even more clearly. The site sits between the heart of Accra's political and cultural landscape, Independence Square on one side, the Osu Castle on the other, and the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum not too far behind. It's a triangle of heritage, freedom, and identity. This project could have connected all these historic places with modern urban beauty, giving both Ghanaians and foreigners a reason to walk along the coast and experience the story of the nation through its architecture and design. Imagine a sunset scene where the light of day fades behind the Black Star Monument, while reflections dance across glass buildings by the sea. It's that kind of vision that the Marine Drive was meant to bring to life. But right now, all that exists is a quiet stretch of land and a few silent machines under the sun. Still, there's something powerful about documenting moments like this. Because development is not just about the grand opening of completed buildings, it's also about the waiting periods, the pauses, and the moments of reflection. Projects like this test a nation's endurance and planning discipline. Ghana, the world is watching. We are watching, and we'll keep coming back until we see the day this land turns from silence into movement, from promise into progress, from dream into reality. Because this is not just about the coast, it's about the country. The future we build here will tell the world exactly what kind of nation we are. My name is Flash GH, and this is Ghana through my lens. Real, raw, and unfolding. Until next time, keep believing, keep watching, and keep holding the dream alive, because the story of Ghana is still being written, and we're right here to capture every frame of it.